Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to
What's going
Sports
on
Tonight. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman here with
Lee Smith.
Lee.
Dun, dun, dun.
Football Friday, man.
It's Football Friday.
For me, this is like the first real football. Well, I guess that's next week. Next week will be the first real football Friday because we have everything.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have high school, you'll have
College
and pro. So this week is like 2/3 of a football Friday, right? Because we have high school, of course. And now this is the first real weekend, not week 0, but week 1 of college football. Here,
Feels
right?
weird saying that.
It is. It's really weird. It's really weird. But right down the street, probably within walking distance, you got Georgia Tech tonight, hosting Louisville in their opener, much anticipated opener for Georgia Tech, given the fact they have a new coach.
Yep.
Hopefully a new philosophy, and hopefully some new wins because they haven't done much winning lately.
No, they haven't. But
why is that going to change with?
They've got a new quarterback, a transfer from Texas A&M, Haynes King.
Yep.
He saw some action in 21 and 22 before he transferred over here, and so he was just named the starter on Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, no. We actually talked to Brett Key. That was the first time we talked to Brett Key after he had been named the quarterback. It's actually been a whole week now. But, yes, they are optimistic, and hopefully he can provide some kind of spark. I know last year they lost, Georgia Tech did, they lost to Clemson in this kickoff game, and that was when they had DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah, DJ U's not there anymore. He's gone. And guess what? Jeff Sims, who was their starting Georgia Tech starting quarterback last year, he's also gone.
Yeah.
And now we got Haynes King and we got Brant Key. So new coach, new quarterback, new system. Hopefully better results.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was one of those people in the offseason. I was kind of like beating down the door for Deion Sanders to get the head coaching job at Georgia Tech. Coach Prime, he's at Colorado. Yeah, but look, I think with Georgia Tech this year, obviously they got Brinke now, who they were obviously happy enough with last year at the end of the year. They finished 4-4 last year.
Under him, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the keys. Yeah. So look, I mean, obviously getting Haynes King from Texas A&M, they obviously had to address that quarterback position first because to me that's the biggest problem there after head coach. But now, I mean, it's a fresh new start, and let's get some wins over there at Georgia Tech, right? I mean, watching some of those games last year, their offense was so stagnant. I mean, I shot a couple of their games last year, and I just remember, it just seemed like offensively they just couldn't move the ball the way they needed to compete in today's college football, So, yeah, I mean, hopefully they have a new offensive philosophy, not just a new quarterback, and hopefully they can put some points up because the points just weren't there last year. I mean, their offense was so stale last year. It sucked.
Well, and you couple that with the defense giving up 42, I believe, touchdowns. I think the offense scored 24, and they gave up 42, I believe.
Well, that's not going to help you.
No, that's never a good combo. Never a good combo.
Yeah,
when there's almost double TDs given up, then you score. Yeah, that's not a good combination. But, hey, maybe they can right the ship tonight. We'll see. It's a good Louisville team. I mean, they're top 25, so we'll see if they can pull out the win. Good thing for them, it's only half a mile from their stadium. So maybe they have a little bit of a home atmosphere, and maybe they get a dub.
Games there are really cool. I really enjoyed being there in the environment last year. I could just imagine if they start winning just how fun it's going to be because of course it's not like the environment at UGA where you kind of just have fans that are going crazy all the time. It's not It's not an SEC environment, but it's a good environment, and I think if they get that thing turned around, I think the support will definitely come because I think they're definitely itching right now. Just be more competitive. I know this team isn't going to compete for a national championship, but I mean 7 or 8 wins. Is that too much to ask? 7 or 8 wins?
I think that's pretty on par for this season, yeah.
I mean, that'd be
a good season.
Yeah, for sure. So that's all I'm asking for. So look, to get this win tonight would be a pretty nice home win. So let's see if they can hopefully get something going right.
Get the year start off right.
And prove me wrong that they shouldn't have got Coach Prime, right?
Wow.
That's what I wanted, but whatever.
Okay.
So, UGA begins their quest for a three-peat tomorrow. We got the very, very powerful juggernaut of Tennessee Martin coming to town tomorrow. They'll be out at Athens.
Are they the Skyhawks? I think. I don't even know their
Doesn't
mascot.
even matter at this point. I mean,
I think they're the Skyhawks.
they're going
Could be wrong on that one. I do not know.
they're gonna get their doors blown off regardless, no matter what their nickname is. I mean, let's
Come
just
on,
be
Scott.
real. I mean,
Give them a fighting chance.
that's not going to be a very competitive football game tomorrow. We all know that, right? I mean, that's just that's a tune-up game. That's UGA will have the backups in probably by the late second quarter. They'll have the third and fourth stringers in by the mid-third quarter. I mean, that's not going to be a very competitive football game. I mean,
No, it won't. But hey.
And what
hey, look, it's cool for the fans because they finally get a night game. Now, granted, it's not against a great opponent, but hey,
Right.
it's still an excuse to go
to a
get
game.
heavily hydrated
Yeah.
all day and have a fun atmosphere at night. So, good for UGA fans finally getting that night game.
Yeah, but look, I do think it's the kind of game where they can work on some things, right? I mean, because obviously they have an SEC opponent in a couple weeks, so you want to be ready and set for when you play South Carolina, right? That's their first SEC game, so you want to make sure that you have everything together. So I think that will be a good opportunity for the starter Beck to just get his feet wet as far as being a starting quarterback,
Right.
work on some things, see what you have in the backfield. They had a couple running backs that they'll be down, right? So maybe get that situation together and just really just kind of work on yourself. I think that's the key tomorrow for UGA, is just to kind of work on self. It's pretty for them. It's pretty much going to feel like maybe a step up from like a scrimmage,
Yeah.
tomorrow, because they'll be able to score whenever they want to. Their offensive line, I'm sure, is so good they'll just push their defensive line around. Because it's a different caliber of athlete that they'll be facing.
Right.
So, yeah, but I think the important thing is to get out there against somebody else, work out your frustration against somebody else, work on some things, and then be ready when the SEC season starts.
Score a lot of points. Don't give up a whole lot of points. Work on your fundamentals.
They probably won't give up any points.
Get all your pre-snap reads right. Don't have any procedure penalties. No false starts. And, hey, that's a good week, right?
Bro, Tennessee Martin probably ain't going to score. they might get a field goal or something.
They
might get an extended garbage time touchdown or something
hey.
to make it 65-10
As
or
long as you
whatever.
don't get shut out, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Avoid that shutout.
Yeah, so. But two teams who did get their season started last night. You had Georgia State last night beating Rhode Island. Kennesaw State, you were at that game, right?
I was at that game.
How'd that one go?
All right, so it was a 38-7 win for Kennesaw State. It was 10-7 at the half, and it was looking a little bad for them for the Owls.
Well,
but they pulled it off. They came out in the second half and they just dominated. But yeah, it was cool to see because next year they'll be Division I, and so
cool.
They're transitioning and they're not eligible for the postseason this year. But they're transitioning to D1, and so they actually played last night against Tusculum, which is D2.
Tusculum, I've heard of them. Yeah,
Tusculum.
I've seen them before. They got
I'm
drafted
so used to
a few
saying
years ago.
Tuscaloosa. That's why I got it in my head.
They had some guys drafted a few years back.
Well, matter of fact, they had D. Alford from the Falcons was there
Oh, he
last
went
night
there?
on the sidelines. Yep.
Oh, okay,
He's
pretty
a
cool.
Tusculum alum.
I didn't know that.
So he was on the sidelines last night. Saw him.
Okay.
They were feeling pretty good in the first half, and that second half came, and it wasn't even close. There was a pick six for Kennesaw State, and let's see who else.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and they had a record crowd last night, over 10,000 fans over at Fifth Third Bank Stadium.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool to see. Nice little atmosphere over there, and let's see.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, I had the GSU game last night.
How was that?
Well, that
A little
got,
hectic, right?
that got kind of scary because in the first half, when you watched the first half of that game, you thought GSU was going to run away with it. They came out scoring some touchdowns pretty early in that game. They were going downfield. They hit a couple big balls downfield. They were up 21-7, I believe. And then Rhode Island came roaring back. Look, I'll be the first one to admit I didn't expect Rhode Island to be very competitive in that game, but their quarterback, Kasim Hill, he's transferred from a couple of different places. He was at Tennessee. He was at Maryland, I do believe. He kept them in that game. He was as good as advertised coming into that game. And they put some points up. I mean, the final was 42-35. And really kind of late in that third quarter, you kind of didn't know which way that game was going. But then GSU kind of broke apart. They got a pick six late in that game. They added another touchdown. So they survived. But, look, any win feels good, especially for GSU, who only won, 4 games last year. But I don't know how happy you could be with that effort they had last night. I mean, giving up 35 points to Rhode Island and really escaping with a win by the it was kind of an edge of your seat win late.
Skin of their teeth.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how great they feel about that win because I think they probably
I promise you it's a lot better feeling than having a loss.
Well, sure. I mean, a win beats a loss any day. I don't care what the situation, what the circumstance is. The bottom line is to win games. But I do think, though, I think they expected it. I think they expected to win by a little more.
Of course.
Hey,
it's week one, though, man. This stuff happens. It happens to a lot of teams. I mean, look at Florida last night.
They just look like they suck, honestly. I mean, look at Florida. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Didn't show up.
I mean, how long is Billy Napier going to be the coach
penalty
there?
with two people that have the same number jersey on at the same time on the field? Like, come on, dude. How do you do that on a fourth down? And they would have gotten a stop, and then they scored instead. Like, come on.
That just looks like a football team that's not prepared.
Missed field goals.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't
bad quarterback play. It was a lot.
Right. I mean, they didn't even look like they've been practicing the whole offseason.
So
that
it could be
like a
worse.
team that wasn't prepared. So
it could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, so sure enough, you don't want to be that. But no, I think I think GSU will take the win, and I know as they go through some of these next few games, they'll as long as they win games, I'm sure they'll be good. But I just kind of thought last night coming into that game, I thought Rhode Island was an inferior opponent, but they looked a lot better than what I thought they would, and they put some points up on Georgia State. And I think before the year is over, Coach Elliott is going to want to tighten that defense up because I'm sure that he doesn't want to have to sort of hold his breath late in those games when they're getting close.
For sure.
Against opponents who you probably should win by more than 7 points to.
Well, yeah. But, it's week one. You got to work out the kinks.
Exactly.
A W's a W, and, you take it.
Both those quarterbacks.
You take it, learn from it, and go on to week two.
Both those quarterbacks were kind of older, too, last night. Kasim Hill was like 25 for Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And then you have, obviously...
I feel like you're going to see that a lot this year, actually, and for years to come, because this transfer portal thing, man, it's crazy.
Transfer portal. And some of those
and then
guys
I guess some of them
year.
are still have the COVID year, like you just said. So that's seems like so long ago.
But one guy who's not struggling is Ronald Acuna Jr., right?
Hey, man, he had a good day yesterday.
30-60 club?
And he got married.
During the season, though?
Excuse me.
He got married during the season?
He got married yesterday to his longtime lady friend. So.
And he didn't take the day off of work?
Guess you don't have to.
That's wild.
Who cares? Okay. Hits a grand slam. Braves beat the second best team in the league.
Yeah, I mean that was impressive.
And you get married. That's a quality day. That's got to be top 3, right? Come on.
And it was kind of a look. I mean, when you think about their opponent that they're playing with the Dodgers, I mean, right now when you kind of look at it, I mean, it was kind of a battle between him and Mookie Betts last night. Mookie Betts had a big game too.
I'll tell you what, Mookie's doing incredible things. This is like I saw somewhere he's hitting like 450 in the whole month of August.
He's gotten hot late in the season.
That's crazy.
So I mean, he's kind of tight, and I think we thought this was going to kind of be a runaway to the league MVP with Acuna probably running to the award.
With the stolen bases, I think I'd still give it to Acuna. But Mookie's right there.
That's 60
and
stolen
Freddie
bases,
too.
right?
Freddie Freeman's dominating too.
Yeah, he's having a big season too.
I saw where it was like the odds of the NL MVP was like RAJ, Mookie, Freddie, and then like Matt Olson. Fourth. So
wow, 3 Braves.
Well, 2 Braves and 2 Braves, 2 Dodgers.
2 Braves, 2 Dodgers, right?
All at the top.
So it's got to be inevitable that these two teams meet in the playoffs, right?
You think so, right? But I don't know.
It's got to be inevitable. I mean,
I hope so, because if we get what we got last night, but we get it for 7 games and in October, I would be for that all day. Well, I guess it would be in September because the World Series is in October. So, but yeah, either way, that would be awesome for all fans.
Sure, I mean you get Dodgers and the Braves and the NLCS. I mean those are 2 of the most star-studded teams maybe in Major League Baseball. I mean, then you have the aspect of Freddie Freeman going against his old team in the playoffs. I mean wow, that would be crazy.
Yep.
I'm here for it.
Hopefully so. We'll see.
So let's go to what's on your mind as we kind of wrap it up here. And so, did you see these shakeups now in college football again? Like going to the ACC, you got Stanford, you got. What's going on?
SMU. And who else? Stanford, SMU, and one other school.
Yeah, I saw there. So we got Stanford, SMU, and Cal.
And they're going to the ACC?
Yeah, the ACC. What is Cal doing going to the ACC?
Well, I mean, what are any of these schools going from the West Coast to the East Coast? I mean, that's kind of the trend, what it is now.
They're going to have 5-hour flights to go play football games.
Well.
I mean, listen.
Well, okay, a football game is one thing, but, like, what are you going to do, like the bowling team and let's see, I don't know, any of the other like 27 other like
They can't afford this stuff?
NCAA teams, right? Like, what do you do?
Have they thought that
Do
far
you just
ahead?
take like 2 week road trips and you just stay on the other coast and get all your games out of the way right there, and then come back to your own house, and then you play for like another week at your own place?
Look,
I don't know.
Look, I don't mind this aspect of it anymore, but let's just be real. This isn't college. This isn't collegiate sports anymore. I mean, this is pretty much pro. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, do you think these kids are really like getting their education? I mean, I know, look, things changed, especially since the COVID year, so people are more adept to doing things online. I mean, as far as their classes and everything like that, but who's really paying attention to their schoolwork? Let's be real. I mean, if you have a 5-hour flight to go play, on a regular basis to go from one coast to the other coast, can you really be thinking about your algebra or anything like that? I mean, who has time to worry about that?
First of all, not many people in the normal civilian world use algebra past like
No.
8th grade.
No, I mean, I saw a Facebook post.
No.
I saw a social media post from like last year. A guy was sitting on the curb looking off into space, and he's like, well, another day I didn't use 3 squared plus 2 squared. He's like,
Yeah, well, hey.
I haven't used it one day yet.
I'm sure some people use it, but for the majority of
I wouldn't know
the
where.
workforce, no.
Yeah. So, I
But
mean,
hey, whatever.
So what's on your mind?
Ooh, let's see. High school football. Let's go to Georgia. All right, so tomorrow, we've already hit on it, but like, is there a possibility tomorrow is the first stepping stone to a three-peat? I mean,
Yeah, when you look at their schedule, sure. Sure.
I don't know.
They're not going to pay.
It's so surprising that they open up with this schedule. Like the whole month of September is just.
No chance for a loss.
I don't want to be that guy and say cakewalk because I know coaches hate that, but I'm not a coach, so. To me, it feels like a cakewalk, and I don't know.
I mean, let's just be real.
I wish the Georgia fans had a better schedule because that's just meh.
I mean, just look at their schedule. I mean, just UT Martin, Ball State, South Carolina, but they're not going to lose to South Carolina, right? I mean, so there's probably not a game that you look at as being questionable until they play Auburn. I mean, that's like the first game where you go, okay, I mean, if Auburn plays good, they could
Actually,
win.
I guess what would be on my mind is who comes out as quarterback in some of these SEC teams. I want to see who actually excels and who kind of grabs hold of the reins for that starting spot at quarterback. Because Jalen Milroe was named starting quarterback today by Saban. So
what's up with these coaches' name? Well,
I want to see if he has progressed from last year because he played a couple of games and actually won. It was a little rocky, but hey, they won. So,
some of these
I
coaches
want to see how Carson
slick,
Beck
man.
performs, and I guess we got a Graham Mertz last night for Florida. We saw him. It was all right, not great, not awful, just meh. So we'll see how these quarterbacks perform.
Some of these coaches think they're slick in these quarterback controversies that they're having late in the year. But just call it for what it is. You don't want the other guy to transfer after you named your starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's
That's
a depth
why
chart thing. It's a depth chart.
chart. Okay. Yeah. They don't want these guys to transfer. They don't want these guys to hit the transfer portal. So you don't name your starting quarterback until a week before the first game because you don't want the number 2 and the number 3 guy to explore their options. So you make them think they have a chance of being the starting quarterback for most of the summer, and then you get down a week before the game. Ohio State did it. Alabama did it. You can kind of say UGA kind of did it a little bit. These coaches know who their starting quarterback is. Let's be real. There's no controversy. They know who the guy is, but they wait until a week before the season starts before they name their starting quarterback because they don't want the other kid to transfer.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how that works. And they found a way to sort of beat the system themselves.
That's college athletics. That's football right now.
That's why I don't mind when players hit the
portal.
portal. Hit the portal all you want, kids, because the coaches are going to try to screw you too.
Well. Yeah. It's just a vicious cycle both ways. It's crazy to me the evolution of college football is in the last 10 years, even 5 years, hell, even like 2 years. But that's crazy. It's gotten insane. But whatever. Well, it's here. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully it's a good 23.
So that's cool. That's been sports tonight for us on a Friday. Don't, as always, check us out wherever you listen to your podcast at, whether it's Spotify or wherever, or Apple, whatever. Download the ANF Plus Sports Tonight app and listen to Sports Tonight. Listen to us. Listen to us on the way home. Listen to us when you got some time. Listen to us after midnight when you can't sleep, or wherever. Just listen to our show and just
Wherever, whenever, we don't care.
Wherever,
just
whenever.
Click.
Just click on it, check us out. We have a lot to talk about, and we're going to do our best to keep bringing you all the best topics of debate and discussion, right?
All
Lee,
right.
it's been real, man. Look.
Hey, it's one more week. One more week under the belt.
Get out here this weekend, watch some sports, enjoy it. Enjoy football is back, baby. We can't wait.